Right.
Dade
to the left to Connor. Gives to Dade. Got a hole. 20, 15. Dade. Touchdown to the 2-yard line. One receiver to the near side, two receivers to the far side. Connor in the gun, Dade to his right. Connor going to keep it himself. Got a little room up to the 30, up to the 35, sidelines to the 40.
Hey, that's
hit right along the sidelines. That's a penalty. First and goal from the 10. Montrell Connor roll up, got a man wide open, makes it easy. I believe that is Wydell Clark. Quick 6. And 9 for Pineville. They'll have 3 receivers to the far side. Mix to the left of Tate. Tate takes the snap. Rolls to his near side. Intercepted by the Lions down the near sideline. It is intercepted.
Odie Fremont.
Williams in 9 for Pineville. They'll have 3 receivers to the far side. Mix to the left of Tate. Tate takes the snap. Rolls to his near side. Intercepted by the Lions down the near sideline. It is intercepted.
Odie Fremont. Defensive line stepping in. You got Ashton stepping in.
25-0 Lions. 5:55 remaining in the second. Coleman to Tate. Tate makes one man miss. He won't make the other 6 miss. That's our guy Freeman making a stop.
Have a big stop there, man. It was really, really good plays. Kind of indication of kind of how the night went for us, which always is fun.
I'm not going to lie. This year has been different for me, and I'm loving the video replay. Weather Pro Roofing sponsors that. Appreciate those guys doing that. But being able to see it after the fact on video and replays and highlights, I mean, your banquet's going to be pretty nice this year having access to all this footage.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we are going to really dial that up, and that's one of the beautiful things about, you know, the live stream and all this. Not only does this cover just a much wider reach than you know, traditional radio, but it also provides those opportunities to see those plays for those people who couldn't be there.
Thank you, T-Lay Productions, for taking care of all this.
That's right.
All right, now let's go back to Destrehan. Let's hit that offense, and we've got some playmakers.
Definitely. There's, you know, they have some really, really good guys all over this offense. The first is Jackson Field. I mentioned him earlier, the quarterback, went out early. He was, I think, an all-Metro guy last year as quarterback. They do a really good job.
6'2", 200 is pretty good size.
He's a big size, good-sized kid, young man. He's an 11th grader, and he does a really, really good job with what they task him to do. You know, when you think quarterback, you think, oh, if he's all-Metro, he must be, you know, whipping it down the field. I don't think that's really their game. They can. I mean, they've got guys on the perimeter that can do that, but they tend to stay in the realm of let's make the high percentage throw and then let our playmakers try to make that play, and they've done a good job of that this year. So Jackson Fields is a guy that you can tell when he's getting the snap, they're a lot more confident with him there.
But they were talking about a Wildcat earlier, and that one going to number 4, Mac.
Yeah, we'll get to him, believe me.
And I'm seeing a lot of 11s on here, by the way.
Yes, that's right. They're a lot more young on this side of the ball, and I think this is right now their better side of the ball is the offensive side of the ball. Malachi Dabney, a sophomore running back, 5'9", 165. He runs very, very big for his frame. He's done a really, really good job. They are a majority run team. They're probably 65-35 run to pass. And to do that, you got to be able to have a back that can, even out of 10 personnel, no tight ends, be able to get some tough yards, and he's done that well. They're a zone run team, probably more than gap scheme, and he's done a really, really good job of finding those creases and hurting some people if they don't have the edge contained. Now we get to Jabari Mack, ex-receiver, 11th grader, 6 foot 190.
And all kind of offers.
Yeah, he's got a ton. LSU being one of those. Both of these guys I'm going to talk about now are both track guys as well. So you see a 6 foot 190, 175 from right. Both of those guys are long striders. They do a really, really good job catching the ball. Mack is their Wildcat quarterback, and I'm going to tell you, he's elusive back there. He does a really, really good job. Another thing that I think you'll see that is unique to Destrehan offensively they probably run more of what I call wide receiver outside zone, where they come in motion and hand it to them. They probably do more of that than most anybody that I know I've seen this year.
So your guys have to stay home.
Yeah, I mean, it's making you essentially cover 7 or 8 gaps, because they get to the edge so fast. And Mack is the one that primarily does that, but the other, Phillip Wright, senior Z receiver, he is committed to LSU at 6 foot, 175. I wouldn't be surprised to see him as a 2-sport athlete. He's also a track star, as I mentioned. But those 2 guys do a really, really good job. And then Greg Wilfred, he's an 11th grader, plays the slot. A little smaller than those 2, but I'm going to tell you, he does a really good job running tunnel screens and stop routes. He's 5'8", 160, already has 2 offers himself. Just really, really good guys at the receiver position. And then you move inside the role of tight end, although he can't go out for routes, is number 60. That's Gage Schreiber.
And explain why he can't go out for routes for people that may not.
So his number 60
is a lineman.
You can only catch passes downfield if you are 0 to 49 or then come back 80 to 99.
Okay.
All right. So by position, they're basically getting an extra offensive lineman in there, and he does a good job. Gage Schreiber is 11th grader, 5'11", 240, and then it gets a good bit bigger, on the rest of the offensive line. They got Earl Collins, number 11, left tackle, 6'3", 310, and then a lot on the right side, center to right side of 6 foot, 270, 280. So they're a appropriately sized Division I non-select team. They do a good job. They don't have to protect for the quarterback for long because a lot of the pass game is quick game stuff, and I think they do a really, really, really good job of it. Obviously, with that, it makes it imperative that you tackle well on the perimeter especially. So those guys do a fabulous job of getting the ball to those playmakers out there and basically just creating additional outside handoffs with the passing game.
Talk to me about their kicking game. I mean, do they generally put them in the end zone? What do they do?
No, their kicker is a really, really good sky kicker, and you've seen Mondragon do that a lot this year, where you punch kick it up to one of the upbacks. Their kicker does it really well. He gets a lot of height on it.
So no return.
And then he falls. A lot of times it falls in an area to where it creates indecision. Does the upback come up and catch it? Do we fair catch it? Does the front line guy back up? And I will say this, that Miguel has done a great job this week as our scout team kicker for that, of giving our guys that look. It's been a tremendous look, and something, that we found out Miguel's now got in his wheelhouse, and so we look forward to using that as well. But they do neutralize a lot of the returns with the way that they kick off.
Well, let's talk about your kicking situation, because yours has gradually improved over this year. So let's talk about that and give credit to those guys.
Last year, well, let me backtrack to the first year I was here. Amigo Rios was a sophomore.
Oh, my.
And, I mean, we were literally crossing our fingers and holding our breath on
an
extra point.
Across the crossbar, yeah.
And, come to last year, I think he made a couple of 36s or 37s, something like that. So I was really proud. But if Amigo went down, I think we'd have just went for 2. We have 3 field goal kickers right now.
That's great.
Obviously Miguel Mondragon, the freshman, has been doing a lot of the work. Miguel had something come up a couple of weeks ago and had to miss the Neville game. Oscar Hernandez, our sophomore kicker, was out with a family tragedy. Fell on the hands of a first-year player in Connor Burns, who is
Senior.
A punter but a soccer player. And so what do as the coach, I trot him out there against Neville to kick a 30-something yard field goal, and he made it.
Yes, he did.
And so, you fast forward, I'm watching Connor warm up the other day at Ash, and if I'm honest, his first punt that he was punting in pregame, he fell flat on his butt. His foot came out from under him, and I said, you got to work your plant. And I watched him while we were in team, and I just kind of watched where he was at. And he's got a monster leg, and saw him, working that plant. And so it was a bit far. I think it was a 43-yard field goal, a bit far from Miguel right now. And I tried to counter out there, and he made the 43-yard field goal in
Nice.
the wet and the rain
Right,
at Pineville on
well,
grass.
that's real game
Yeah,
mentality.
I told him, I said, man, that's big, you know. So, and then Oscar was able to kick an extra point. You know, obviously Miguel had 3 extra points. So I'm again, man, I'm glad to get guys in there and get them in a game situation, because you never know when you will have
That's
them
right.
in that situation.
Next man up. We've seen it many times before.
Yep.
All right, so any final thoughts here as we wrap up? I realize you win and you move on, and you know it's going to be a home game.
Yeah.
If you lose,
that's right.
That's it.
You know, I want people to continue to support this team.
Yes.
You know, both in presence and just in moral support. The people who watch this, they know somebody. Obviously, if they're tuned in, they know somebody on the team or they're associated with Ouachita in some way. Just continue to support. I mean, these guys are battling. They're in, again, the toughest district, and we were right there to having a different seeding and all that. But, look, you can't look back and have excuses now. There's not any. We are where we are, and now all those seeds are removed, and there's just a bracket, and we're just trying to slide right in it. And it's happened before, and that's what we told them. It's happened before. Every year there's upsets, and so why not us?
Any final thoughts on the regular season that is now over? 9 games and a bye. I'm not talking about win or loss. I'm talking about what you've learned and what you've watched, how these players have grown so well.
I think if I can, I'm going to try, which, I mean, it was not intentional to have a bye, but I think I'm going to try.
You're going to fix that next year.
Yeah. It's good if you have a lot of injuries. At that point, we didn't have a lot of injuries. So it's kind of like we felt like, although it didn't happen, you know, we came back and got the win after the bye against Franklin Parish, but you kind of feel like you lost a little traction after the Sterlington game. So we're going to look to fill that. Other than that, you know, it's just knowing that in our district, there's no looking to say, hey, when do we play Neville? Or, I mean, it's whatever game is in front of you, and that is all that matters. You can't look ahead.
That's right.
I mean, it's hard even to look and say, well, what did, Ruston do against Ash? You can't even look to the side. You have to be, I think, to be focused. Talking to Coach Bachman yesterday at the all-district meeting, I think, you know, in this district, being what it is, you've got to be uber pinpoint focused on just what you're doing.
Right.
You know,
right.
And the outside factors, if you do that well enough, they'll take care of themselves.
Well, best of luck. We'll be there with you, and let's just make it a plan to be here next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock here at Catahoula.
Sounds good, man.
All right. You've been tuned into the Benji Lewis Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Catahoula's. We will be with you Friday night right here on Facebook and YouTube and on Rock 106. Pre-game Coaches Show at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. We'll talk to you then. You've been watching the Benji Lewis Coaches Show right here on the Ouachita Lions Sports Network.
Big rig wrecks can lead to life-changing injuries. I'm Christian Creed. As an accident investigator for over 40 years and a former insurance adjuster, I know what insurance companies are looking for. Combine that with our experience and local team, including accident reconstructionists, economists, and engineers, we work hard together to leave no stone unturned to build the strongest case for you and your family. Remember, if you've been injured in an accident, let us go to work for you. Call Creed & Creed today. We're your local injury attorneys.
Hi, I'm Chris Lewis, the proud owner of Coney Island Connection. For nearly 20 years now, we've served the Oklahomites with our fast, friendly service and our famous chili cheeseburgers and our famous chili cheese dogs. Well, the chili is homemade. I'm asking you to stop by today and give us a try. We also serve hot tamales, roast beef po' boy, fried pickles, and much more. We even serve funnel cake fries here at Coney Island Connection on the corner of North 7th and Arkansas Road.
The last hailstorm, we called Weather Pro. They came out very quickly, inspected the house, did everything we needed to do, took care of all the paperwork, and took care of it quickly. After that was done, they cleaned up everything and didn't have to worry about anything. There was no hassle, no nothing. It was great. They did a very professional job. I would highly recommend them for any job that you have for roofing needs.